Rejected on a Christmas blind date, she received an unexpected life-changing request from a little girl. Charlotte stood on the bustling street of Maplewood, heart racing as the twinkling lights danced around her. Christmas was in the air, a delicious mix of cinnamon and pine filling her lungs. Tonight was supposed to be magical. A blind date. She envisioned laughter, shared dreams, and the potential for love. But as the clock ticked down, hope thrummed through her veins like a wild drum. The restaurant was alive with holiday cheer, but the bright colors faded as she sat across from him. Jake, with his cocky smile and dismissive attitude, seemed to suck the joy right out of the room. "So, you're a waitress," he scoffed. "What a waste of your degree. You should aim higher like nursing, right?" His laughter echoed like icy wind. The words stung worse than the biting December chill. Deflated, Charlotte felt her dreams slip through her fingers, her heart heavy with disappointment. The drive back to the diner was a blur. As she pushed open the door, the familiar clatter of dishes and soft banter of coworkers wrapped around her like a warm blanket. She took a deep breath, grateful for the solace of her little family at the diner. No one knew the pain hidden beneath her skin. The comforting aroma of coffee brewed just right mixed with the spirit of her coworkers brought a hint of hope back to her chest. It was there she found Mr. Thompson, a gray-haired veteran with twinkling eyes that held stories, a soul who could see past the waitress apron. "Hey, kiddo. You look like you could use a friend," he remarked softly. As he shared tales of courage and love during dark times, Charlotte felt the warmth of compassion wrap around her heart. In his stories, she found pieces of her own aspirations fighting for what mattered and nurturing the broken. Then he shared a heartbreaking truth about his granddaughter, Lily, a sweet girl struggling with crippling bullying at school. The weight of her isolation broke Charlotte's heart. This was bigger than her dreams, it was about kindness, compassion, and connection. An idea sparked in her mind: what if they hosted a community Christmas event to bring joy and inclusion? "Let us show them love," she declared. Together, they began to plan. But with each passing day, financial realities loomed, a palpable dark cloud hovering above them. Charlotte's spirits dipped. Was she foolish to think the town could rally for Lily? Her insecurities clawed at her resolve. But amidst her doubts, a neighbor knocked on the diner door one day, offering a basket of baked goods for the event. Then others joined. An overwhelming surge of kindness bubbled like hot cocoa on the stove, filling her heart with warmth. Community members, some strangers, pulled together, transforming their little idea into something monumental. But as Charlotte basked in the glow of newfound community spirit, a cold wave of anxiety crashed over her. Would she let fear steal this new life she was building? Christmas morning loomed like a shining beacon, and she stood at a crossroads, the weight of her self-doubt in sharp contrast to the hope around her. Could she truly embrace this generosity? Could she learn to believe in herself when it mattered most? Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As Charlotte prepared for the community gathering, everything felt beautiful yet overwhelming. Just when it seemed they could overcome, a devastating setback loomed on the horizon, threatening to unravel the festivity they had worked so hard to create. Charlotte faced a choice that could either cost her the new family she found in Mr. Thompson and Lily or propel her toward the future she had always longed for, shining bright like the lights on the streets of Maplewood. Would she step into her own light, navigating the uncertainty with resilience and newfound courage? The day of the event arrived, crisp and clear, the air filled with excitement and the faint sound of carols drifting through the streets. Charlotte stood at the diner, her heart pounding as she looked out at the gathering crowd. They had transformed the parking lot into a winter wonderland. Twinkling lights hung from every tree, colorful banners flapped in the brisk wind, and the sweet scent of pine mingled with freshly baked cookies. But underneath the festive cheer, uncertainty clawed at her. What if no one showed? What if, in the end, it was all for nothing? The last few days had felt like a whirlwind. Every time Charlotte thought they had found their footing, another obstacle emerged. Just yesterday, the man who volunteered to bring in a hot cocoa station had called, unable to make it due to a family emergency. Her heart sank at the thought of disappointing everyone, especially Lily. Mr. Thompson's voice broke her thoughts, warm and steady. Those kids out there, they don't just need cocoa. They need hope, Charlotte. He placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder, his wise eyes searching hers. And you, my dear, are the one who can give it to them. With his words echoing in her mind, Charlotte stepped outside. To her surprise, the lot was almost full. Kids dashed about, laughter bubbling up to the sky like the bubbles in soda. Lily stood in the center, her smile radiating innocence and strength, as she chatted with other children. Just as Charlotte's heart began to swell with pride, she noticed a family lingering at the edges. A mother stood with a small girl clinging tightly to her side, watching the festivities with wide, fearful eyes. The little girl's shoulders slumped, an invisible weight pressing her down. Charlotte's heart twinged. She had been like that once, afraid and alone. "Hey there!" Charlotte called out, her tone bright and inviting. She approached them, kneeling to meet the girl's gaze. "Would you like to join in? We're about to start the Christmas cookie decorating contest. It's a lot of fun." The girl frowned, hesitating. "I'm not very good at it," she whispered, shuffling her feet. Charlotte remembered her own self-doubts from the blind date, the sting of a dismissive word still fresh. "You don't have to be good at it. You just have to try. It's about having fun." "I'm not a great baker either," she shrugged, making a goofy face to lighten the mood. "Last year, my cookies looked more like pancakes." A small giggle escaped the girl's lips as her mother smiled, finally breaking the tension. "All right, let's give it a shot," the mother said, gently nudging her forward. As the girl took hesitant steps toward the activity, Charlotte felt a wave of accomplishment wash over her. They were making connections, slipping past walls of fear and insecurity. It was these moments that made the hard work worth it. But just when Charlotte felt the warm glow of success settling in her chest, a harsh voice rang out from the side. "This is a waste of time. Who cares about a bunch of kids playing with frosting?" A group of teenagers loomed nearby, rolling their eyes. Lily paused by Charlotte's side, her joy replaced by uncertainty, as she looked at the scene. Charlotte's heart sank, the vibrant colors of the event dimming in the face of that harsh judgment. Just when she believed they'd crafted something special, here it was again, doubt, the specter that loomed over their happiness. Charlotte's pulse quickened. Would she let those hurtful words take away the joy they'd all built? Gathering her strength, she stepped forward, ready to defend the beauty of the moment. "This isn't a waste," she called out, her voice unwavering. "This is about creating a community. It's about finding joy in the simplest of things. It's about letting every child know they matter." The group fell silent, taken aback. For a heartbeat, Charlotte's eyes locked onto Lily's, filled with unspoken encouragement. And as the gathering held its breath, waiting for the next moment to unfold, Lily took a step forward, her small voice chiming in, "Yeah. We all matter." Would this be the turning point she had prayed for? Could they turn judgment into acceptance, and build a bridge where walls once stood? The air trembled with possibilities. Charlotte held her breath, the tension hanging heavy in the air as the teenagers exchanged glances. For a moment, it felt like the entire world had paused. Time stretched out, allowing space for the weight of their words to settle. Then, as if a spell had been broken, one of the young men stepped forward. "Whatever," he muttered, folding his arms. "I still think it's dumb." The other teens snickered, but Charlotte didn't waver. Instead, she turned back toward the crowd, searching for the little girl's eyes, hoping to see the spark of excitement return. She found the same fearful expression, yet now tinged with a flicker of something else: courage. "Let us get decorating, everyone," Charlotte announced, her voice ringing with enthusiasm. "Who knows? Maybe we'll bake the next great holiday cookie masterpiece." As she raised her hands high, a few kids cheered, their spirits rising with the challenge. One by one, they stepped up to the decorated tables, shaking off their hesitations like snowflakes from their coats. The mother and her little girl joined the mix, eyes brightening with each step. Lily beamed as she plopped down next to a group of her peers, their faces smeared with icing as they debated wildly over which colored sprinkles were best. While the initial tension faded, Charlotte could still feel the weight of judgment lurking at the edges, those harsh words clinging like tinsel. But she pushed them aside, redirecting her focus to the laughter and chaos unfolding before her. Each cookie decorated was a small victory in itself, a tiny message of worth being sent into the world. "Look at mine!" Lily exclaimed, holding up her cookie, which was a chaotic mixture of frosting and candy. It was more artistic expression than culinary success, but to her, it was perfect. Charlotte grinned, pride swelling in her chest. "Yes. That looks amazing," Charlotte encouraged, clapping her hands together. "And just wait until you see what happens when you put it in the oven." As the children continued their decorating frenzy, the laughter was infectious, reaching even the onlookers who once scorned the festivities. Charlotte noticed a few of the teens lingering, their disdain melting away under the warmth of the moment. One girl timidly stepped closer, a soft smile breaking through. "I think I'd like to try," she said, her voice almost shy. "Come on over." Charlotte beamed, waving her to join. Acceptance was like a ripple effect, spreading through the crowd, as more kids and even some adults began to step away from their previous judgments. No one had to paint a perfect cookie, they merely had to dare to create something together. Just then, the community's spirit swelled as someone gave Lily a handful of sprinkles to share. She spun, laughter ringing out like a bell, when suddenly, there was a big splash of icing in the air, the joyful chaos intertwined with giggles as everyone dove in. But in that carefree moment, Charlotte's heart skipped a beat. Her gaze landed once more on the family who had first stood at the edge. They had drawn closer, and the little girl had just decorated a cookie with overwhelming delight. Yet, instead of joy visible on her face, a flicker of pain crossed her mother's. The woman was now wiping tears from her eyes, but they weren't tears of happiness. In the middle of all this cheer, Charlotte felt a swell of concern rise inside her. Something wasn't right. Would she be able to find out what lay beneath the woman's sorrow? Was there something deeper yet to uncover in their little winter wonderland? Her heart raced with the need to understand, as whispers began to form in the air around her. Charlotte couldn't shake off the nagging sense of unease. The laughter around her swelled and echoed, but the image of that mother's tears settled like a stone in her gut. The joy surrounding their festive activity felt fragile, like it could shatter at any moment. "Lily, can I borrow you for a second?" she said, kneeling beside the little girl. Lily turned with her big, innocent eyes, all smiles, frosting still smudged on her cheeks. "I need you to help me," Charlotte continued, glancing over at the woman who was trying to mask her tears. "Can you show me where you got those sprinkles?" Lily nodded eagerly, hopping up from her spot. As they walked toward the supply table, Charlotte kept stealing glances back at the family. The little girl's laughter rang out like music, but her mother seemed increasingly distant, caught in thoughts that pulled her away from the joy of the moment. "Why do you think she is sad?" Lily asked, her voice innocent and curious. "I don't know yet," Charlotte replied softly. "But I think she could use a little help." The two approached the table, and Charlotte quickly grabbed a handful of sprinkles. Just as she was about to head back, a voice broke through. "I don't get it," one of the teenagers from earlier said, his arms crossed defiantly. "Why do you care so much?" Charlotte took a breath, turning to face him. "Because we're all in this together," she said, her voice firm. Every little action can mean a lot, especially for someone who feels alone. He rolled his eyes but didn't retort. There was a momentary shift in his expression, a flicker of thought that made Charlotte feel like a door had barely cracked open. Returning to Lily and the family, she squatted beside them, showing them the colorful sprinkle collection in her palm. "Look at these. Aren't they fun?" Lily's eyes widened, and she leaned closer, completely absorbed in the treasures before her. The mother, however, still had that distant gaze, lost in a world of her own. "Hi," Charlotte said sweetly, addressing the mother directly. "I'm Charlotte. We're all decorating cookies today, and it looks like you've got a great little artist here." She motioned to Lily, who grinned wider. But the woman blinked rapidly, her expression still pained. "She loves it," she replied, but her voice was somber. "That's all that matters." Charlotte felt the air grow heavier. "Can I ask if everything is okay?" With a deep breath, the mother's eyes glistened, and Charlotte felt her heart twist. "Just, some days are harder than others. I worry about her, about us. Do you want to decorate a cookie with us?" Charlotte offered, feeling her heart squeeze. It might brighten the day. The woman hesitated, looking at the chaos of happiness around her and then at her daughter, who was now shaking sprinkles across her cookie like a little storm. The tiny gleam in Lily's eyes seemed to root her back in the present. Slowly, the mother shook her head, but she also nodded, torn between sorrow and a flicker of hope. "I don't think I can." Charlotte stepped forward, close enough that their eyes met. "You don't have to do it perfectly. Just join us. It could be fun, and maybe even what you need." A moment of silence hung between them, and as if drawn by an invisible thread, the woman reached for a cookie. Charlotte could hardly breathe, waiting for her answer. "Okay," she whispered, her voice shaking. The rush of joy flooded Charlotte's chest. Maybe this was a turning point, a chance for healing. But another thought echoed in her mind: what really lay behind that quiet pain? As they began to decorate, Charlotte felt hope blossom. But she knew she'd have to dig deeper. Why had this woman's spirit dimmed? Glancing at the other kids, the laughter and warmth buzzing through the air, Charlotte prepared to step forward again, to uncover the heart of the matter. What story lay hidden beneath the surface, waiting for the right moment to emerge? The looming questions hung like ornaments on a tree, shimmering, waiting for someone to shine light on them. As the mother took that tentative step toward the table, Charlotte felt her heart race, the flutter of hope mingling with an undercurrent of urgency. It was a small victory, yet it felt monumental. Maybe, just maybe, she could start to break through. "Let's make these cookies as colorful as we can," Charlotte exclaimed with a dash of enthusiasm, her voice spilling over the sounds of joy surrounding them. The mother, whose name Charlotte now realized she didn't know, picked up a cookie shaped like a star and began to frost it gingerly, the tension in her shoulders beginning to ease, if only slightly. Lily was beaming, her giggles bubbling up like a fountain, sprinkles dancing wildly as she decorated her own sugar-coated masterpiece. "What color will you use next, Lily?" Charlotte asked, hoping to keep the energy light. "Pink." Lily squealed, her tiny hands flinging sprinkles in all directions, some landing on the mother's cookie, sparking a fleeting moment of laughter. At that sound, the mother's lips curled into a smile. It was almost imperceptible, but Charlotte held on to it like a lifeline. "See? That's turning out beautifully," Charlotte encouraged. "You both have such talent." "Thanks," the mother murmured, her voice softer now, as if the weight had begun to lift. As the three of them decorated, Charlotte's thoughts wandered. She stole a glance at the woman, trying to catch snippets of her story. She could see the shadows under her eyes, the way her brows sometimes furrowed as if she were carrying the weight of the world. Something was clearly troubling her, something deeper than just the surface of this festive occasion. "Is this your favorite holiday?" Charlotte asked, weaving casual conversation to draw the mother in. "It used to be," the woman replied, her voice catching slightly. It just feels different now. The frankness of her words felt like a punch. Charlotte opened her mouth to engage deeper but paused. The cookies around them, so innocent, so beautiful, held the kind of energy that was so easily overshadowed by life's strains. "Hey, no pressure to share," Charlotte quickly added, sensing the sudden vulnerability. "Sometimes, just being here is enough. We're all working through something, aren't we?" The woman looked back at Charlotte, her eyes searching. "I just wish I could be the mother she deserves," she breathed. "Some days, I don't even know how to show up." Charlotte felt a pang in her chest, a connection igniting. What if she could help? "You're here now," Charlotte emphasized gently. "Each moment counts. You're showing her love just by being here." Lily, unaware of the heaviness in the conversation, draped a sprinkle shower onto her cookie, as if the colors represented her untainted spirit. It was as if she understood without words the essence of joy, unfiltered and pure. Encouraged by her daughter's spirit, the mother took a deep breath, a small exhale that seemed to release her dialogue of despair. "I really want to try and let go," she admitted, wiping at her eyes as though she were clearing a fog from her heart. They decorated in semi-silence, punctuated by Lily's giggles, but Charlotte sensed an openness now, a fragile connection beginning to form. "What would you do if things were different?" Charlotte asked, her curiosity bubbling forward. The mother hesitated, her cookie halting midway. "I'd want to go ice skating with her, take her to see the lights. Just be present, create memories." "I love that idea. Let us plan that." Charlotte encouraged, her excitement tangible. "You can do it. You're already starting." The look in the mother's eyes shifted as though the fog of doubt was slowly parting. But as Charlotte took a breath to delve even deeper, the buzz of laughter around them faded into the background. She could feel the faint sound of her phone vibrate in her pocket, pulling her attention for just a second. "Excuse me," she said, diving briefly into her pocket. Glancing at the screen, an unfamiliar message lit up. "Help us make a difference this holiday season. Join us for a surprise event with families in need. It's happening soon." The urgency flashed across her mind. Would this be a way to connect this mother, to show her the beauty of community? The idea buzzed in Charlotte's mind, a pulse of excitement. But just as she began to piece it together, she noticed the mother's gaze faltering, sinking back into the shadows. Charlotte felt a pressing weight. She needed to act, to share this potential spark with the woman before the moment slipped away. "Would you consider joining something special? Something that could help others?" Charlotte pressed, hoping to ignite that flicker of hope once more. But as the mother hesitated, her eyes darkening again, Charlotte realized, what if the answer wasn't just a yes or no? What if it offered profound changes? It was crunch time, and she could feel it tightening around them both like a ticking clock. "Will you give it a thought? Just maybe?" Charlotte said, holding her breath in that space of anxious possibility. The woman's silence weighed heavily, leaving an uncertain promise swirling in the air. Until another giggle from Lily broke through, piercing the thick tension. It felt like a reminder of choices, of hope, but just how far could it stretch? As Charlotte met the woman's gaze again, everything hung in the balance. What would she choose? Would she step into the light, or withdraw once more into the shadows? The room felt charged with unspoken words as Charlotte held the mother's gaze. Time seemed to stretch, the laughter of children around them fading into a muffled backdrop. Each heartbeat echoed louder, a reminder of the precarious moment they all stood in. Lily, oblivious, carefully placed a red sprinkle on her cookie. "Mommy, look!" she shouted, her voice a spark of joy that cut through the tension. It was a simple innocence that made Charlotte's heart swell and ache at the same time. How could something so pure coexist with the shadows dancing at the edges of this woman's eyes? The mother shifted her focus back to Lily, an expression of conflicted love flickering across her face. "It's beautiful, sweet pea," she said softly, her voice thick with a mix of pride and sadness. Charlotte's heart twisted. The longing in the mother's eyes was palpable, a yearning to embrace all that joy offered and yet an anguish that held her back. Maybe we could all do it together, Charlotte suggested, trying to steer the conversation toward a spark of action. Ice skating, the lights, it sounds like a perfect way to bring back some of that holiday cheer you mentioned. The mother's smile faltered, and she looked down at her cookie. I don't want to mess things up, she admitted, her voice nearly a whisper. What if I ruin it for her? Every moment counts, remember? Charlotte pressed gently. You won't mess it up simply by showing up. Just being there creates the magic. Suddenly, the vibrancy of the room swelled, with laughter erupting around them, chasing away the lingering shadows for just a moment. But Charlotte could feel the shift in the mother doubts clawing back, ready to pull her under again. Just then, Lily, clearly sensing the weight in the air, wandered closer to her mother, reaching up to wrap her arms around her waist. Mommy, can we have a cookie party every day? It's the best one. The little girl beamed, eyes sparkling, voicing a multitude of unfiltered joy. The woman's face lit up with sincerity, and for a brief breath, it felt like the clouds had parted. Yet a wave of sadness washed over her again, every laugh tinged with a silent struggle. Every day. That's a lot of cookies, she chuckled, but the truth behind her smile was more sorrowful than light-hearted. At that moment, Charlotte remembered the message on her phone. What if you could make a difference for others too, she blurted out, the excitement bubbling over again. There's this event, something that could help families in need. We could go together, like a new tradition. She watched closely, hoping to catch the spark she had seen a moment ago, but the heaviness returned to the mother's expression. I wish I could say yes, she said, her voice thickening. But I don't know if I'm ready for even that. The weight of those words hung in the air, heavy and suffocating. Charlotte didn't want to let this moment slip away. It could be the start of something, she replied earnestly. When you give, it helps you heal too. I can be with you every step of the way. Then, out of nowhere, Lily shouted, can we make a giant cookie? With a rainbow. And sprinkles. The innocence threaded through the air like a lifeline. A flicker of hope sparked in the mother's eyes as she turned toward her daughter. A rainbow cookie sounds amazing, she said quietly. Yes. Just think. Charlotte jumped on the moment. You can start small, then grow big just like those cookies. You can create something beautiful that spreads kindness. The mother glanced between her daughter and Charlotte, a war of emotions swirling in her eyes. Maybe I could try, in those tentative words, Charlotte felt a tumbling swell of optimism. That's it. One step at a time, she whispered, a smile breaking through. As the mother shifted her weight, uncertainty still danced in her expression. But Charlotte could see there was a tentative glimmer, a choice hanging in the fragile space between them. But just as Charlotte was about to reach out and encourage her further, Lily tugged on her mother's shirt and pointed toward the window. Look. The lights. Can we see? A brilliant display lit up outside, and for a moment, everything froze. At that magical sight, the twinkling colors reflected in the mother's eyes, overshadowing the darkness she had been drowning in. Would it be enough to pull her from the depths? Would she choose to join Charlotte and step into the light, or would fear draw her back into the shadows? As the mother's gaze shifted from the joy around her to Charlotte, the question loomed heavily, could this be the moment where everything changes? The air buzzed with possibility, but only time would reveal what would unfold next. Charlotte watched as the mother's expression transformed. The flickering lights outside seemed to mirror a tentative spark igniting within her. But just as Charlotte felt that breath of hope, the mother's smile faded, dimming like the lights just before they go out. I should really get Lily home, she murmured, the weight in her voice heavier than any words could convey. Charlotte's heart sank. It felt like a missed connection, a fleeting moment of promise slipping away. But what if we could go see the lights together? Charlotte proposed, desperation creeping into her tone. Just a quick trip outside. Maybe it would help. The mother hesitated, her eyes darting between Charlotte and Lily. Even the sparkle in Lily's eyes dimmed slightly. She glanced down, visibly wrestling with her thoughts. "I wish I could," she whispered, but the words trailed off, tangled in her hesitation. Lily tugged at her mother's sleeve again, her voice bright but tethered by uncertainty. "Mommy, the lights. Please." The mother knelt down, bringing her face close to Lily's. "Sweet pea, I just don't know." Her brow furrowed, caught between wanting to bring joy to her daughter and the fears that gripped her heart. "Sometimes we just need to take a leap of faith," Charlotte interjected gently. "One tiny step outside could be the start of something bigger. You don't have to figure everything out at once." There was a small pause. Charlotte could see the internal struggle etched vividly on the mother's face. The weight of the moment hung between them, thick enough to cut. "What's the worst that could happen?" Charlotte continued, keeping her voice light, as if coaxing a scared child into the water. "You'll see some lights, share a few giggles with Lily, and if it doesn't feel right, you can come back inside. No pressure." Watching the mother's eyes shift back to Lily, Charlotte felt a flicker of hope. It wouldn't take much, just a moment of bravery. But time was slipping away, and the decision rippled through the air. "Okay," the mother finally breathed. "Just for a little while." A tentative resolve filled her words, and the shift in her posture told Charlotte that, for the first time, she might be ready to reach for the light. "Yes. Let us get our coats," Lily exclaimed, bouncing up and down with excitement. As they stepped outside, the cold air washed over them, invigorating but sharp. The lights cast a kaleidoscope of colors against the snow, each one reflecting the mystery of the universe and the spark of possibility. A blanket of serenity covered the world, and for a moment, the laughter and joy rekindled hope. "That's them," Lily squealed, pointing, her innocence an echo of pure delight. As the mother watched her daughter twirl in the snow, Charlotte felt the fading shadows of the past shifting slightly, allowing a breath of relief. The mother stood still, her face a mix of overwhelming emotions. Was this her moment? Could she truly allow herself to step beyond the walls she had built? But the moment was fleeting, like the twinkling lights around them. Just as hope began to bloom, Charlotte noticed a flicker of uncertainty washing over the mother's features. "Maybe this was a mistake," she whispered, almost to herself. "I don't want to mess this up." The breath hitched in Charlotte's throat. "You're not messing anything up," she insisted, stepping closer. "Sometimes, it's the falling that teaches us how to rise." But would the weight of doubt sink her back into the shadows? Charlotte's heart raced as she watched. Would this be yet another moment lost to fear? "Can we just enjoy it for now?" Charlotte suggested, trying to keep her voice steady. "Let the magic of the lights fill the space between us." The mother was still, grappling with her emotions. Charlotte could see the gears turning. Would she choose to embrace this fleeting moment or retreat again into the dark? As Lily's laughter echoed, drawing their attention once more, Charlotte held her breath. Would she take that leap? Or would the harsh whisper of doubt snatch her back from the light? Only time would tell. The chill wind danced around them, swirling snowflakes in a flurry of white. Charlotte watched the mother as she took in the dazzling display of lights, an array of colors painting the night sky. For a moment, she appeared to forget her hesitation, almost lost in awe. "Look, Mommy! The blue one! Just like my drawing." Lily tugged at her mother's coat, her voice ringing with joy. The innocence in her tone tugged at the mother's heart, and for a flicker of a moment, Charlotte thought she could see cracks forming in the armor the mother had worn for so long. "Yeah, sweet pea, it's beautiful," she replied, though her voice remained muted, as if she were still grappling with chains invisible to others. Charlotte shifted closer, her heart pounding. "You see how vibrant everything is? It's like a celebration of life," she murmured, hoping to guide the mother deeper into the moment. Can we go closer? Lily's enthusiasm flowed, tugging at her mother's hand, leading her toward the nearest tree draped in shimmering lights. The mother instinctively followed, but the hesitation in her eyes lingered. Just one step at a time, Charlotte reminded her softly. You're doing great. Each step felt monumental, like a dance with fear. The lights glistened in Lily's eyes, reflecting the joy that bubbled within her. The mother's eyes followed her daughter, briefly illuminated by pride before dark clouds of doubt clouded her expression again. She glanced at Charlotte as if seeking permission to let go just a little. Why did I say yes? The mother's voice trembled, barely audible. What if I really mess this up? Because you're trying, Charlotte replied, meeting her gaze with unwavering warmth. And trying is what brings us closer. Lily's laughter rang out, a joyous sound that soared above the uncertainties. With a brief glance, Charlotte saw the smile on the little girl's face light up the cold night, and she wished for it to melt away the mother's doubts. Mommy, twirl with me. Lily exclaimed, spinning in circles, her arms flung wide, her every movement an invitation for her mother to join. Charlotte watched as the mother hesitated, despair and longing entwined in her heart. But then, slowly, something shifted within her. The resolve that had kept her bound for too long began to crack. The walls she built, brick by brick for years, trembled under the weight of her daughter's innocent enthusiasm. With hesitant grace, the mother moved forward, her hands lifting as she began to twirl with Lily. Their laughter danced through the air, and Charlotte felt a surge of warmth spreading through her. The moment was not perfect, more like a tender sketch than a completed painting, but it was theirs. For Charlotte, watching the glow of happiness ignite their bond felt like magic. And in that precious moment, she realized how intertwined their lives had become. It wasn't just about the lights. It was about a mother learning to breathe again, a daughter embracing joy, and Charlotte, in the middle, witnessing the birth of hope. Suddenly, the mother paused, breathless and wide-eyed. What happens if I fall again, Charlotte? The fear weaved through her voice, but there was also a glimmer of courage. Then we fall together, Charlotte said, her heart pounding with possibility. You're not alone anymore. But just then, a nearby light flickered and went dim, casting a shadow that briefly enveloped them. Charlotte's heart raced as the mother's expression shifted. The uncertainty thundered back like a winter storm, pushing through the moment like it had so many times before. What now? The mother asked, voice wavering. What if I retreat? The question hung heavy in the air, an unexpected turn in their fragile journey, leaving Charlotte to wonder if they had truly crossed a threshold or merely danced along the edge of hope. Would this spark fade into another shadow? Or would they find the strength to keep moving forward, together? The flickering light returned, casting a soft glow over the trio. Lily's excitement bubbled like a springtime brook, oblivious to the heavy silence that had settled on her mother. But Charlotte could feel the tension, a web of unspoken fears stretching tautly between them. She took a deep breath, grounding herself against the whirlwind of emotions. Mommy, Lily said, breaking the silence. Can we find the biggest snowflake? I think it will be special. Her eyes sparkled with a childlike wonder, and Charlotte could see that for a moment, the mother was lost in her daughter's desire to explore. Sure, let us look for it, the mother replied, her voice softer now, like a gentle snow curtain falling. Charlotte knew they were still teetering on the edge of a precipice. Would the mother lean in or withdraw again? They walked together, feet crunching in the fresh snow. Lily danced ahead, her laughter ringing out like cheerful bells. But Charlotte stayed close, aware that the mother was struggling to keep her footing. The shifting feelings inside her were unpredictable, a tug-of-war between courage and retreat. Remember, Charlotte said, glancing at the mother. You're doing this. One tiny adventure at a time. The words felt like an anchor in a storm. Do you really think so? The mother asked, her eyes searching Charlotte's face for reassurance. I know so, Charlotte replied, her voice steady. You've already taken such a big step by being here. There was a flicker in the mother's eyes, a mixture of doubt and a longing for connection. The light from the nearby installations danced on her face, accentuating the struggle beneath. Charlotte felt an urge to reach out, to bridge that gap and show her that this journey was worth every uncertain moment. Suddenly, Lily called back to them. "Mommy! I found a snowflake." She was kneeling, cupping something delicate in her hand. The mother rushed forward, her previous trepidation momentarily forgotten. "What did you find, Lily?" There was an eagerness in her voice, the faintest glimmer of joy spilling over the edges of her sorrow. Lily opened her palm carefully, revealing a perfect snowflake, shimmering in the light. "Look! It's the prettiest one." It was unique, crystalline, with intricate patterns forming a mini masterpiece. The mother bent down to inspect it closely. "It really is beautiful," she whispered, a soft smile breaking through the remnants of her doubt. In that shared moment, as Lily beamed with pride, it felt like a small shift, a fleeting glimpse into a more hopeful future. But then the moment flickered again. What if this is all just? The mother breathed a sigh, the weight returning. What if things don't really change? Charlotte's heart sank. It took so much to make some progress, yet why did it feel so ready to slip away? Change is hard. But it's also possible, she replied, her voice a soothing balm. You know, it's okay to worry, but not all shadows mean something dark. Charlotte looked directly into the mother's eyes, pleading for her to see it. You might surprise yourself. The mother took a deep breath, her face a canvas of uncertainty mixed with willingness. Maybe I can start exploring these shadows. Exactly. Charlotte cheered, feeling a surge of hope shoot through her. You're already taking steps. Together? The mother's eyes glistened. Always, Charlotte assured her, feeling the warmth of shared resilience. As they began to walk again, Lily spinning around with her snowflake in hand, Charlotte felt the air shift. But just then, a rustle in the nearby bushes caught their attention, followed by a soft whimper. They all turned, the warmth of their moment suddenly overshadowed by an unexpected sound. What was that? The mother asked, her voice sharp with concern. Charlotte's heart raced again, curiosity mixed with alarm. Let's check it out, she urged, feeling the tight knot of adventure begin to twist again. Little did they know, the snowflakes were only the beginning of a more profound journey ahead. As they approached the bushes, Charlotte's heart raced with anticipation, the joyful atmosphere giving way to uncertainty. The soft whimpers persisted, creating a sense of urgency that pulled them closer. Lily, still clutching her delicate snowflake, peered ahead with wide eyes. Is it a puppy? She asked, her voice a mix of excitement and worry. Let us find out, the mother replied, her tone shifting from hesitant to protective. Charlotte admired how quickly the mother had responded, her instinct kicking in to take care of anything in need. When they finally pushed through the branches, they discovered a tiny, trembling creature huddled in the snow. A small puppy, shivering and scared, looked up at them with pleading eyes. It was a sight that would break anyone's heart. It's all alone. Lily gasped, rushing forward, her own fears forgotten as she knelt beside the shaking puppy. The mother followed, kneeling beside Lily. In that moment, the warmth of that connection seemed to fill the vacant spaces of doubt residing within her. Poor thing, she murmured, her voice laced with compassion. Charlotte noticed a significant shift in her expression as empathy replaced trepidation. We have to help it, Lily insisted, her eyes shimmering like the lights above them. Yes, we do, the mother agreed, her voice steady. Let us take it home and warm it up. Charlotte felt a swell of hope. This moment could ignite something beautiful, an opportunity for the mother to embrace her nurturing side. You're showing Lily how to care for someone else, she pointed out, a gentle smile spreading across her lips. As they carefully scooped the puppy into Lily's arms, Charlotte could see the mother's own heart start to thaw at the sight of her daughter's burgeoning joy. They began to walk back towards the diner, a family of 3 in their own makeshift adventure, united by love and an unexpected bond. "Mommy, what will we name him?" Lily asked, bouncing gently with excitement. "He needs a Christmas name." "Rudy. Like Rudolph." The mother suggested, her laughter infectious, a sparkle returning to her previously clouded eyes. "Perfect." Lily clapped, the simple joy erupting around them, carrying Charlotte along as she felt the warmth of their togetherness. As they entered the diner, the bustle of holiday cheer enveloped them. It felt like stepping into a cozy dream, the aroma of cinnamon and hot cocoa greeting them like old friends. Mr. Thompson looked up from a corner table, his gaze brightening upon seeing the little puppy nestled in Lily's arms. "What's this?" he asked, a grin spreading across his face. Charlotte felt a wave of gratitude as she witnessed the interactions, the warmth of hearts connecting in real and tangible ways. "This is Rudy. We found him," Lily announced, her pride beaming. Mr. Thompson chuckled, "What a fine little fella. You know, he'll need a good home and a lot of love to grow strong, just like you." Charlotte exchanged glances with the mother, a silent understanding passing between them. It was more than just an animal, it was a reminder of love, resilience, and the ability to heal even amidst fear. "Maybe we could all pitch in to take care of him together," the mother proposed, her voice now filled with purpose and possibility. "Yes," Lily cheered. "We can build him a little bed and everything." Charlotte felt her heart swell as she watched the mother lean in closer to her daughter, the shadows that once lingered, now lighting under the glow of love and hope. "Just think," Charlotte encouraged, "you both will have something to nurture together. It's the beginning of something beautiful." In that moment, the mother's face radiated a new kind of strength, grounded by her daughter's enthusiasm and the warmth of community surrounding them. She was finally stepping out of her shadows, embracing the light. Later, as the evening began to settle and the diner hummed with laughter and joy, a new tradition unfolded. The puppy, now named Rudy, found a safe haven in their hearts and lives, stitching their family closer with each wag of his tiny tail. Charlotte felt a profound peace wash over her. Not only had the mother begun to embrace life again, but she too had transformed through these experiences. The fear of rejection, of judgment, was slowly replaced with a realization the beauty of connection deeply seated in vulnerability and kindness. "Mommy," Lily exclaimed, petting Rudy gently, "can we make cookies for him tomorrow?" As the rest of the diner clapped and grinned, the mother nodded, a radiant smile gracing her lips. "Of course, sweetheart. We can do anything, can't we?" "Yes," Lily chirped, and Charlotte couldn't help but join in an exhilarating laugh bubbling forth as she joined them, feeling buoyant amidst the warmth of the moment. Charlotte realized that sometimes, it takes a little puppy and the innocent love of a child to mend hidden scars, bringing families together in ways they couldn't have imagined. As they celebrated the unexpected blessings of the night, the real magic of Christmas shone down on Maplewood, wrapping not just the community, but all of them in its embrace. This was just the beginning, and Charlotte knew she was right where she belonged, ready to carve out her own path filled with love and hope. Now, as the final lights twinkled outside the diner, it was time for the viewers to step into their own light, sharing laughter, celebrating love, and togetherness. You need to subscribe now to catch more stories like this. Hit that bell and mark all notifications to truly stay connected. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm. Every thumbs up fuels us to keep bringing these transformations to you. Comment below your reactions and feelings about this ending. I can't wait to hear your thoughts. And share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Don't wait not even one more second to spread the love. True fans know we need your support to keep this journey going.